Libra.
Hello Libra, this is your forecast for October 2013. And for you Librarians, well, it's a great time of the year because the sun is in your first house, so happy birthday. This is when the sun radiates from your eyes, from your spirit, from your soul, and really bringing it out to everybody else around you. You're brilliant this month. And you also have a new moon in your sign. You get this once a year, and so good for you. It's a double whammy here. And having both the sun and the new moon is allowing you here through the first house to pinpoint those things that you apply to your personality, those things that are important to you. And the new moon's intention this month should be everything about where it is you see you fit in the big scheme of things, making your place, making your space, and also focusing on those things that you want to work on that has to do with you. Because as Libras, you always balance people, circumstances, places, and situations. But right now it's more like, what do you want? What do you need for you to find your inner balance and zen? This is your time to really figure it out, because what you're setting up here now, Libras, is what you're setting up for the whole year to come. Also, we have Mercury turning retrograde this month. It's starting out here in your second house of income. So you're going to be looking out over your financial situation, tallying numbers together, what is coming in, what is going out, and so forth. So this is where your mind is going to be somewhat engaged. And then also, as it turns retrograde, it's going to turn around, it's going to go right back into that first house. So it will have a little bit more time just to tweak those things that are important to you there in that first house. So you see, retrogrades aren't always a bad thing. See, it gives you time to kind of refine those ideas that you are having now until the 21st of October when it retrogrades. So you got time now to really think about how you want this whole next solar year to look like for you. This Mercury retrograde in the second house, well, yes, it is financial situation, so, you don't really want to go out with money, spend money, or buy anything that you might come to regret later on. Just because those things that we do tend to buy under retrograde, they're a little funky, they fall apart, and then you've got to take it back, get your refund, and so forth. So if you have anything that you need to use your money on, do so until October 15th, and then just wait, okay? It will go direct again from November 11th, which it's going to be turning around here in that first house, moving back, which is forward, actually, into your second house again. And so hold off until at least November 15th for any major purchases. Then we also have Venus and Saturn here in your second house as well. So, having both Mercury, Saturn, and Venus here, you're looking at what is important to you, the values that are important to you. This is inner spiritual values, Libra, and figuring out what needs to go, what needs to stay, what the deeper message is of how you value life and your material situations. Because Saturn is here, it's trying to put down a different ground. You're working really hard now to find that balance, that foundation that you can build upon, in the next 28 years. Because once Saturn is done here, well, this is what you're doing for the long-term cycle. So therefore, many of you have been going back to school, when Jupiter here was in your ninth house. You were seeking how to expand that area of your life. But now that Jupiter is in your 10th house, you're pretty much also looking at how you can expand this career-wise now. So many of you have moved back out into the career field, and those of you who have been there for many years, well, this is a time where you're expanding that foundation, and Jupiter is doing excellent here in this area of your chart. We have Mars. Well, it's been a busy social month for you in September. Mars is just about nearly done here in this area where it's been transiting Leo, which is, the fun sign. Very heartfelt so, and you have it in your area for friendships. So you might feel that you've been energizing this area of your life. Plus, it also rules, groups and organizations and hopes and dreams and wishes too. So you might have been really putting a lot of effort towards what it is you truly want, and then starting now to take those steps to manifest it and bring it down. And you'll see that even more so start taking shape and form from the 15th when Mars goes into Virgo. Virgo loves to analyze. Virgo is also a hands-on doer and very practical. So if you've been sensing, feeling, visualizing what it is you want, well, Virgo will help you bring that into manifestation, as it's an earth sign. It's the element of finding those roots. But then again, also, since it's moving out of the 11th, coming into that 12th house area, well, for you, what that's going to do is wanting to pull you back, because it's the house of Pisces, ruled by Neptune. So Mars might just want to take a little dream time too, where it can pull back from the expectations of all the others out there and kind of align yourself with yourself. And the sun is going to be moving through this first house of self. So you'll see, especially there from the 15th, that shift will take place. Until the 15th of October, you may still be busy out doing your thing, and then you'll retreat for a little while, for a few weeks, actually. We have also the full moon here this month on the 18th, which is going to be in the 7th house for significant others, your partners, your one-on-one person you either spend a lot of time with or work with. It could be your spouse, or it could also be those of you who are establishing new relationships. You'll feel that the emotional tide, you know how we all get under a full moon, for you it will be the sector of relationships. This is where your mind, heart, spirit, and body will all be working together. We have Venus. Venus is in the 2nd house for values, income, money, and those things that you value. Well, she will be here only the first week of October. So, you might have been out and about, renewed yourself, used some money to beautify yourself, which Venus does. Maybe you've gone to renew your wardrobe, get new makeup, new shoes, and that kind of thing. So until the 6th, that's good. But from the 6th, Venus is going to go into your 3rd house of communication. And so you're going to see that there's going to be a whole lot more time spent in communicating, how you communicate. And I hope the lawnmower out there with my gardeners aren't making too much noise as they pass by. And so just bear with me a few seconds as they drive by there. But yes, Venus in the sign of Sagittarius from the 6th, it always gives you that much more of enthusiasm and joy. Sagittarius is so happy-go-lucky. And to have Venus here, I think Venus loves to laugh, here, which Sagittarius does so easily. Great sense of humor. And it's nice, though, because now you've worked through so many other regions of your chart that right now it's more like, okay, wanting to spend time with your friends. And siblings, too. And there might even be some short distance travel coming up. Short distance either in as far as mileage, but it could be short distance, as in just a couple of days, even though it's far away. Sagittarius rules long distance, and it's passing through that sign, but in the short time span of what the 3rd house represents. So you kind of get like a double whammy, and it can go either way with you. But it should be a joyful time. October is, and you're so charming from the get-go just by being a Libra. You are Venusian ruled. And for you to have it here in this area, well, it's going to be a flirty time for you, Libras. The home front is still under the scope as far as a point of transformation. So you're looking at how you can renew this whole area And we're not just talking about real estate, how to renew it. It's more like how you are transforming with this area. And it also rules the fourth house of family, the past, your inner core, the deeper aspects of you. So, Pluto's doing some deep work, subconsciously with you. But if we're looking at the top of the month, Libra, we have on the 1st, Mercury and Neptune is going to do the dance. They're going to communicate. You might have a spiritual experience here on this day, or also longing to have some kind of a spiritual union or communication. The Sun and Pluto also is going to be a little bit a challenge here on this day, and for you that's going to be between you and somebody at home, okay, or with a family member. You might just feel things are coming a little abruptly upon one another, and it's kind of disturbing your zen, because you're kind of happy in this spiritual feeling, and yet Pluto can be a little rough when it kind of hits home like this, but it's going to pass within a day or two, so just be a little aware of it. We have a situation on the 3rd. I think that is when whatever that situation was is going to clear up a little bit. We have the Sun and Uranus there, so Uranus is going to want to split away from the wound that it felt on the 1st. So this is why I'm saying it's going to move past quickly. And plus we also have that new moon on the 4th. So, that's you to empower yourself. It's to your sign and in the 1st house. So it's a powerful, powerful, beautiful new moon here for you, Libra, this month. Then we have, as I mentioned, on the 6th, Venus is going to move into Sagittarius on the same day that Mercury is going to have some deeper talks with Pluto. This is coming from your area of the 1st house and 2nd house, actually, it's there. 2nd house and the 4th house. So some talks about financial situations with family members, maybe even considering perhaps putting some money towards your home or something that is needed. Well, be sure you do so this week between the 6th and before, I'd say until the 15th, just because you don't want to get too close to that Mercury retrograde. So you got a good week, 10 days. Perhaps before you don't want to invest anything. There is an important communication. You might think about this here, speak about it on the 6th. You got Mercury and Saturn too. You might also be considering how you can save money or put money aside. There might also be some authority in the picture, whether that is you being your own authority. It could be a spouse, it could be a banker or a mortgage broker or something. But you might speak with somebody. It could also be some kind of agency where you're or a CPA that's looking into, or where you're asking or querying where your money would be safe. Then we have a couple of days right up under before Mercury turns retrograde. The planet slows down before it really turns around. So it's already in the slowdown process, just as Jupiter and Neptune are not seeing eye to eye. There is a miscommunication, misunderstanding on the 10th, and the Sun having also a square with Jupiter on the 12th. So there are a couple of days there that's not too easy to deal with. That whole week from the 10th to the 19th up towards Mercury going retrograde. In there's not too much activity elsewhere in the chart. It's kind of like lingering things, kind of a little bit of a weird space you'll come to see. The only little bright spot here is on the 16th when Venus can come with an unexpected surprise. That could be, a tidbit of news, for example. Or it could be a physical surprise, a gift or whatever it is, a new love also. It's Venus, after all. Venus rules love, and Uranus is everything out of the blue, okay? So that's the highlight of that week, but it's just very uneasy energies, and Mars here working itself up towards a opposition to Neptune. So misunderstandings, somebody might say something thinking that they heard it differently, and then consequences because of it, and then Mercury, which is communication again, turning around, going retrograde, having to fix all those weird things that took place that week. So you get the idea, right? So just, don't do any big major things. It's not a good time to have interviews. If you're looking for work, I would try to kind of like really put that out to sometime after the 11th. Even that is early. I would say from November 15th at the earliest. And I know that might be hard for many of you if you're out there, needing to apply. You still got to do what you got to do. The show's got to go on, right? But at least you know what we're talking about here. Keep that as a mental note. And then we have the sun moving into the second house of income on November 22nd. This is the day after Mercury turned retrograde. So you're out of the first house where you've been projecting all this energy out to the world. And now you're kind of looking more over self-worth, those things that are important to you, valuable to you. And maybe you were picking up a lot of energy and signals here in the earlier part of October. And now you're going to kind of put it on the scales of, well, what does that mean to me? How am I going to process it? That kind of thing. And you're going to process it pretty deeply because Venus is going to be moving into, the sun is moving into the area of Scorpio, and Scorpio will feel everything very deeply. It's not going to take things lightly, and especially not anything that has to do with your money or income. You're like this, really, paying attention to where your money goes. So, you're going to do that from October 22nd and then for a full month. Okay, into towards end of November. And then Libra, we're going to end the month here with Mars-Pluto trine. And when we have these two planets working together, when Mars is action, activity, ambition, goals, it's your fire, that coming from your 12th house, and Pluto into your 4th house, and Pluto is also a lot of power. That's nuclear, and Mars is dynamite, right? You put those two together, you can imagine it's a force to be reckoned with, and it's coming from your subconscious to your other subconscious. When we look at the 4th house as far as depth of soul, inner core, the you of who you are truly deep down in, at the bottom of your chart here, really taking you to the past lives too. So, actually we are the sum of all our lives together, spilling out right here in the now. This Mars is touching this Pluto. Pluto is the point of transformation. So there might be some kind of an epiphany this day where you, on a spiritual, psychic level, might get some clarification, some eureka coming in. And plus, on a more physical level, well, there's tons of energy. You might be moving furniture all around, rearranging, because Mars has got to get off with that energy somehow, and then that would be to transform something, which is Pluto, and Pluto is in the home. So watch you rearrange, the furniture here on the 31st. That's a great way to channel this energy. So this is pretty much what we have, Libra, for October. So do listen to your moon sign, your rising sign. And about next month, I'm not quite sure if we're up on YouTube yet, so we have to wait and see. But I'm always going to be posting it here on the website, so I will be speaking with you next month, regardless. Bye now.